So that whole day, I was contemplating two things, and one was either putting Sav and Rizzo on fire or putting myself in fire against Savannah, which would have been a boss move. But with everything I'd gone through in that game, I felt like I deserved to be in those final three seats. I earned the final immunity. I had survived a disaster tribe. I went to the most tribal councils out of anyone, voted the most people out of my season. I felt like I had a good underdog story and good enough connections with the jury where at least sitting next to Sage or Rizzo. I knew it was going to be harder with Savannah, but sitting next to them that I could potentially win. And so I ultimately convinced myself to put them in fire for two reasons. To just show the jury that like I was playing for myself. They knew how close I was to them, loyal to a fault in some times. And so I wanted to like it was a big move. But also like I was hoping Rizzo would take Sav out and me, Rizzo, and Sage sitting there, I think I would have had a good chance to win it. And Rizzo probably thinks the same thing. Like he played a phenomenal game, but I don't know. I think that's ultimately why I did it. I mean, I'll be honest. With Sav sitting next to Sav, I knew I was not going to win. I knew I went into final tribal ready to throw everything at the wall, give it my all. There's a lot that they didn't even show, but I feel like I had a really good performance to the point where Sav even told me right before Jeff read the votes, like you just won this game. And so yeah, I thought I had no votes sitting next to Sav. So the fact that I had some, I was so proud of myself because she's such a dominant player. Like it's hard to get votes sitting next to someone who won 4 immunities, tying the record, winning fire. She also won a reward. Like she was such a dominant player and she deserves the win, hands down. But yeah, I thought it was a losing game sitting next to her. Now with Rizzo, like I had a couple of jury members tell me that had I sat next to them, I would have won. And I think it's just a testament to my social game. I also had an immunity win over him that he didn't have. So, and a lot of the moves that we saw Rizzo make on the screen, like him and I did together. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like I, just as much as he could have claimed them, I could have also sitting next to him. And then on top of that, I feel like I just had a better story just coming from the disaster tribe, the underdog story, the relationships I have with the jury. So yeah. I think so because I mean again a lot of the answers that where I proved that weren't shown. But yeah, I feel like I did do that. And again, it's just like I think it's impossible to win next to such a dominant player like Sav. But I think I put up a good fight. You know, I got some votes, I swayed some people, and I feel confident sitting next to anyone else I could have had a chance. Well, the thing is, like, yeah, I talked about it a lot, but this is a testament to her game. A lot of the times where I was going to make a move, she would just save herself by winning immunity. So yeah, you see me talk a lot about it, but that's before immunity challenges happen. And I'm just like setting up my plan, talking to people. And then when she wins immunity, that throws my plans off. So it looks like I'm just talking to talk, not trying to actually act on it. But for example, at 6, even after the Mexican feast, I was still planning to use my knowledge is power on Rizzo and then vote Savannah out, but she won immunity. At final 5, I was right in the middle. I could have voted with Christina and Sage to vote Sav out. They didn't show me and Christina working on the puzzle together, but had Savannah not won that, we would have voted her out there too, but she always won when she needed to, so. Well, I mean, at that point, I felt like it wasn't time yet. I didn't feel comfortable going into a final 6 with 3 Hina members who had been together from the beginning, had voted with each other a lot. I didn't really understand like how tight they actually were. And then Sage, who was also with them. And then it was like me and Rizzo, where Rizzo had an idol. And granted, I could have taken it from him, so I could have been fine. But I just didn't feel like it was the time yet to strike on Sav. I didn't expect her to like basically win out to the end. But at the same time, like Sav and Rizzo had my back in the game the entire time. All these other people, they didn't care about me. They left me out of the vote. I didn't have history with them. Like at that point, it didn't make sense to me. And then also, Sophie was just as much of a challenge beast as Savannah was. Like I felt like as long as we got one of them out at that moment, it was fine. At least let me get out the person I'm less close to. Well, obviously now that I know Steven's advantage wasn't takeable and I kind of look silly, obviously taking the idol was a better move. But at this point in the game, I had such a good underdog story. I had such great connections with people in the jury. I thought that yes, taking a block a vote is less flashy and sexy than taking an idol. But I knew taking Steven out with the perception of the jury was a bigger move than taking Rizzo out. So I wanted credit for that. I wanted to take Steven's advantage and get credit with my knowledge is power for Steven going because he was truly the biggest threat after Savannah in the game. And because he had friends in the jury, he had won 2 immunity challenges. And so the only thing that screwed me over was the fact that I couldn't take it. Like I had no idea. I knew that he had a block of it, but I didn't know he had to play it before tribal.
Yeah.
Like that kind of screwed me. And so I felt like had I used it and it worked and I got credit for Steven going, that would have made me feel comfortable sitting next to Sav and Rizzo in a final 3. Because again, I had those connections in the jury. I timed my move with the knowledge is power. And that would have been like my flashy move, on top of everything else I experienced in the game. I mean, it's part of the way Survivor goes. Honestly, I should have considered that there might be something there because, like, when do they put in another advantage at final 7? I think it was a trap for me and I fell for it. I should have taken the idol. That was my plan the whole time. My grandmother was telling me to do it. And it is what it is. There's so many. If you don't win Survivor, there's always going to be what ifs. There's always going to be shoulda, coulda, what ifs. But I also still could have won if Rizzo won Fire. So, like, who knows? Like, there still is a path for me to win even after that blunder. So I can't, you could say you should have done this, you should have done that, but he could have still ultimately led in you losing. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, you were hard on yourself for that. I don't think it was a blunder on your end. There's nothing you could have done. It was just the game, like that's what
I got by the twist really because I know. I just do they want the knowledge is power to work? I don't know. Like, come on. Seriously. Whatever, it's okay. For sure. I mean, that's what they told me. And that made me feel really proud of myself that I swayed them. And also, a couple people in the jury told me that they were 50-50. And so the fact that I had people thinking, like, I might vote this girl over someone who's won 4 immunities and a Fire, like, it means that it was a testament to my game that I did play a good one. And yeah, the knowledge is power is one thing, but like I did feel like I played a pretty well-rounded game of Survivor. Though again, I'm a super fan of the show. Sitting next to someone with Savannah's resume is very hard to even get votes with. I thought it was going to be a clean sweep, or at least like Sage maybe getting Jawan's vote and then I get 3rd. But the fact that I got 2nd, like I'm so proud of myself. Sitting next to like a freaking badass like Sav, seriously, like I can't complain. Like, but I was shocked. I'll be honest, I was shocked. I think just like really showing how good my social game was. Like when Christina asked Savannah that question about her to name a family members, I interrupted Savannah while she was struggling and I started to name every single family member and I was able to do it because I did have those social relationships that like maybe some other people didn't, and that's fine. Like I wasn't able to do physically what Sav was. That was her strength and then this was mine, and so I was trying to just prove my point that like I got myself here with those social relationships. Also, like I was able to in detail explain why I decided to do with what I did with the knowledge is power advantage, and that's actually what swayed MC, she told me. So yeah, so that's like maybe some of the things I wish was shown, but it's okay. I think I had a good final tribal. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what changed. He did spend a lot of time in the jury without me. I think we did start together, but there was a point where we spent more time with other people than even we did with each other in the game, and we were on opposite sides at the merge. He left me out of the Nate vote. I voted him out. Like, I don't feel entitled to his vote. Obviously I was like hoping I got it, but I understood and respect the fact that he didn't vote for me. And I think we have a deserving winner. So
yeah, it seems like the game kind of began for you, especially after that first tribe swap when you got out of the blue tribe and kind of were able to start playing the game. Oh
yeah, 100%. I mean, I had to start playing from day one because I I mean, we had to vote somebody out almost every day.
Yeah.
But yes, like I was alone basically. So, yeah, and I was without Alex. So I kind of learned to play without him and realized I didn't need him at some point. And I don't know. Yeah, it's fine that he didn't vote for me. Yeah, 100%. And that's part of the sadness of losing, not only just losing, but maybe if there was a spot on 50 for me had I won, that's like another thing that kind of hurts. But I don't know, something tells me that my story's not finished, and I feel like runner-ups, they have so much more to prove than like even winners because they got so close. Like I've never been more motivated to be a millionaire in my life because it feels like it slipped through my fingers. But yeah, and also Tres Leches really dominated season 49, and both of them are getting to play. So I feel like it'd be cool to see me come back too. Let's see how they do. But like, who knows? But I would 1,000,000% come back.
Yeah, I feel like people have been talking about a runner-up season for a while, so we can manifest that maybe as the next.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I would love that.